On December 19th, 2014, Tan Binghong, a retiree who worked at Zhouyuanshan coal mine in Hunan province, passed away at 77 inside his 32-square-meter shack, where he had lived for more than 50 years. He died of silicosis. The coal mining towns of southern Hunan are home to nearly 100,000 miners and their families. They all live in shacks similar to Mr. Tan's. Most of the miners are over 70 and now retired. In the early 1950s, these miners, who were then young and energetic, arrived to answer the call of the government. They sought a better life and were encouraged by a popular government slogan at the time that promised 2-story homes, electric lights, and a telephone line. They moved into rows of shanties with heartfelt joy. These shanties were built with red bricks, bamboo splits, and mortar, and each covered an area of 28 to 46 square meters. And so began their life, mining coal for the country. However, none of the miners would have expected they would still be living in these shanties 50 years later.
53年9月的53年9年一直到现在29.8吧。原来是5楼，我再来女人媳妇都这个房子就好像马上就会倒的一样的，然后他们。
我也就是楼到这楼，
都里面有潮湿，墙都倒了要。阿弥陀佛，还住到这里。
我的还住在那个印着个的，你看老房子呢，你看那块倒不来，你看这花大花花大一分就不得了了。
Soon afterward, new buildings sprang up row after row on flat land on the outskirts of cities and towns. The construction became known as the shantytown renovation projects for the people. The construction came to represent the Hunan government's unceasing efforts to help people at all levels. In addition, for many shantytown dwellers, the project symbolized their deepest hopes for the Chinese dream. The homes cost just more than 1,000 yuan per square meter, much lower than the market price, but were still too expensive for nearly half of the miners. The villages of Tuanjie and Shengli around Zhouyuanshan coal mine have experienced subsidence due to mining activities. All the residents here will be relocated. The local government decided to allocate affordable housing for them and introduce preferential policies. Each household can get the key to a new apartment for 50 to 60,000 yuan. However, among the more than 430 households in these two villages, most of the residents are retirees who are sick or handicapped. 70% of the retirees could not raise enough money, so they were forced to stay. Owning a new apartment is still a dream for them.
没有钱嘛，工资只有1000块钱，就是要生活嘛。你自己有病还要治病嘛。
35人靠我去换买房子去。
那买不起嘛，1000不就个，1月3不就买不起。
3 kilometers away, more than 12,000 people and 3,526 families living near Baoyuan coal mine are still living in shantytowns. Only 1,800 families can afford the 60,000 to 80,000 yuan it costs for a new apartment. Without the money, a resident cannot be allocated an apartment. The elderly have no hope of moving into a new home. They can only pray that their shanties will not collapse so that they can lie down comfortably inside them during their final days. Those who have put down deposits on new homes wait with hope. They were notified that they could get the keys to their new apartments in 2013.
登记了买了房子，等搞好了，我们呢马上要房子搞好了，我们就往前走。街坊呢，基本上就会到了这个房子。
By the summer of 2015, residential districts built next to urban areas and completed half a year ago to replace the shanties had wormwood growing as high as half the height of an average adult. Not one person could be found to take responsibility for the large residential district, home to 1,000 families. The buildings are beautiful, but what kind of doors protect these new homes? They cannot be opened, closed, or locked. They are filled with rough straw paper and can be torn down by hand. Inside the homes, you can see beams with holes, foundation holes, leaky floors, and scarred and battered walls. Some retired miners have paid for the homes in full. The central government has allocated a huge amount of funds. Local governments have also allocated funds and subsidies for the land. And all kinds of preferential policies have been provided. But what a kind of project for the people is this? On January 9, 2015, Li Changfeng, a former colleague and neighbor of Mr. Tan, passed away. Within 2 months, another 6 retired miners from the 2 villages had also died. They paid deposits for their new homes several years ago. A wet and cold winter is coming to an end, and a hot summer is approaching. The elderly in the shantytowns are once again faced with a life and death ordeal. Who can say when these elderly people, who paid their money several years ago, can get the keys to their new homes?